Greetings and welcome aboard to the Heavy Metal Truckers. We are your hosts. I am Pincushion and this is Doppler. In this video, I almost forgot what we were doing already. We are taking a look at the latest single meaning about 3 weeks ago, from Deviloof, and they are a very intriguing deathcore group from Japan. Yeah. So we will get right into it. This track is called something. Oh, it's, I think, something that I can't pronounce because it's in Japanese.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
INSHU. That's what it's called.
This is the Deviloof one, okay.
Yeah. All right.
So this is the second time I've heard it. Like I told you, I broke down and listened to it the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I told you then, intro, absolutely love the intro to the song. Music video, absolutely love the music video. The meat of the song was just all right, maybe slightly above all right for me. They've had better. I feel like if this song had stayed along closer to what the intro was, it would have been epic for me anyway. Now, one cool thing that I didn't know until after I listened to it when I was looking through the comments is apparently this song is based off of like some sort of Japanese folklore type thing. I don't really know.
I could see it because I began to wonder that as well.
Yeah. Based off of some woman. I don't know. I have to go back and read it again, but which that made it kind of a little bit cooler to me. Made the video make even more sense.
Well, I mean, Japanese typically have so much more folklore than we understand about our own folklore to be able to write material based off of.
Of course, the Japanese culture's been around a lot longer than ours too.
It has, and they tend to be more acknowledging and recognizing and proud of their own culture and their own folklore for a good fucking reason, because I mean their life revolves around it still to this day.
Mm-hmm. Now I can't remember the vocalist's name. Every now and then I remember. You know, now he's not the easiest to understand. That being said, I'm pretty sure 90% of the song was in Japanese, so I'm not going to understand it anyway.
I was about to say, like, I could almost guarantee you it's completely in Japanese. If the title's in Japanese.
Yeah. Now, he has done songs in the past that were in English, and a lot of times when he does English, I can't understand him. So, it is what it is. That being said, the things he can do vocally are ridiculous. I said that from the beginning.
I've even felt like he took the baton from Kyo, to be honest.
In a lot of ways, yeah, he does a lot of like the crazy vocals.
Well, he does what Kyo doesn't do anymore.
Yeah, and he does them well. Like he can jump back and forth between them real quick, real easy, smoothly. Mm-hmm. He does them well. I think, I was sitting there thinking, like, if any of these, like, Japanese video game makers make up a horror game and they need, like, a crazy, creepy sound for some sort of creature or whatever, he'd be a good person to have come in and do it. But, I've always liked Deviloof's style, even though they are in the, the core genres, but they usually do enough to stand out. And make themselves unique enough to where you remember them, and they don't necessarily blend in like a lot of the American ones do.
Well, that's just because they push the envelope and they do things without trying to appear like a badass.
Right.
And they just delve into it, and they focused on what they're delving into. They're not trying to say, look at me. They're doing their thing nonchalantly.
Yeah. And which makes me enjoy them more than a lot of the American versions. Mm-hmm. And But yeah, overall, you know, overall it was solid. I enjoyed it. Like I liked a lot of the layering they did again. Um, and I liked a lot of what he did vocally and whatnot. So I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't their best song I've heard from them, but it was solid. Definitely wasn't their worst.
For me, the video was pretty brilliant and just wonderfully done, and I know that took a long time to get done, but it was well done.
Yeah.
Instrumentally, a lot of the parts just fucking annoyed me. I'm not gonna even lie. For one,
After the intro, yeah, it became a little more. I don't want to say generic, but like,
well, even the intro and like you know how I despise people play and doing just like that kind of thing annoys the fuck out of me. Just,
it doesn't really bother me that much.
but then again, this is more within the modern deathcore, and it falls within the gent category, which I just hate.
And I think a lot of it too is if you go and read the folklore, I think they did it because it kind of would make sense with it.
No, if they like, of course I could understand like if they were doing it to accompany what the piece is trying to convey. Yes, I can understand that and I can respect it for what it is. But I'm proud like it's still something for me that's just annoying.
A personal taste thing, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, and it's mainly just because so many people, especially over in the U.S. with gent, that's what they do. They try and play as tight as possible, and I'm like, you literally sound like a broken keyboard to me. Like a keyboard they can only just play a tink note instead of ding, and just have any kind of sustain to it. Like that, yeah, and then just the rest of it, it was just kind of all over the place, and I mean, of course, it could have went along with what they were trying to convey, but I don't know. But it just, I don't really want to say chaos, but it really just was all over the place for me, and just, it was almost more just in general a spectacle for me to watch. I mean, it wasn't horrible by any means. It's just I'm like, huh, okay, yeah. I wouldn't actively go listen to that again, but this always happens, man. It like whenever we first were listening to Deviloof back in like 22, maybe even 23, whenever they were kind of like just getting started, they were just, to me, they were so much better.
Oh, I definitely like a lot of their older stuff better than this.
Yeah, they like their older stuff was just way better, and I don't know if they're attempting to follow the standard deathcore trend of the modern day, but I'm like, of course, I enjoy your group when they first start, and then all of a sudden they end up getting commercial success, which is great for them. I'm not saying it's bad, but it just, every group almost ends up following the pack instead of doing what they're doing. Just like, I hope Trivax stays with what they're doing and doesn't try and, again, follow the pack of the rest of the herd of what is going on within, like, the black and death metal scene.
Yeah, and I've always found there are a lot of bands that do that, and I've always found it odd because there's a reason why you started to make a name for yourself. Why
Exactly.
deviate?
You got a fan base. Like you got a fan base for a reason. And like I understand being experimental, but and if you want to add elements of what's mainstream just to kind of capture some more people, fantastic, but keep to your fucking roots. I mean,
Now that being said, this is one song. Like
no, and
it
yeah,
doesn't necessarily mean they've done that, but it's a sign that maybe that it could be happening.
and I wasn't
Um,
saying that, in this specifically. I was just saying that to a lot of groups in
it made you
general.
think of, yeah, it
Yeah.
made you think of, yeah.
So yeah, I hope this isn't the direction they're going. Just because, I mean, granted, I haven't really. This is the first time I listened to them since we listened to them probably 2 years ago.
I forget which song we listened. Which actually, I think it was.
I
I
mean,
don't think it was the last song before this one, but the one before that. I think it was 2 songs ago that we listened to. I don't remember what it was called, but yeah,
well,
we
no,
did a video on.
we did. I was about to say we did. That reminds me, I have listened to them since then because we did listen to them while we were on the road. So
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
yeah, we did video on there. Yeah.
Mm. But yeah, I just it doesn't. Well, it also kind of doesn't help that I am pretty well out of the deathcore scene as far as like listening to it on a daily or potentially weekly basis. I just don't do that. Hell, I've gotten to where these days, like, I don't want to say music is almost annoying to me, but I almost, in my daily life, I'd rather listen to a podcast and just kind of get my
You're
head.
getting old.
I am, man. Like fucking. You turn 33 and shit changes you, man.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do most time going down the road is listening to flipping podcasts.
Now, don't get me wrong. I enjoy a good jam every now and then, but it's just like it'd be easier to listen to a good jam if there was better material that was out there these days. I'm like, yes, I'm obviously still listening to black metal just because it's the one thing that's still somewhat raw and cohesive to me. But any other time, I'm just flipping over to the local classical station just because at this point, all I want is background noise just because I've already got, like, I may already have a lot going on in my head that I need something in the background to help me, like, mull things over, or, like, if I do want to forget things, I just go to 90s black metal and just lose myself in the primal nature of it. But yeah, just I don't. Well, I say I don't go actively looking for stuff anymore, but I recently subscribed to a channel that does a lot of European black metal releases, and they show people that have just come out. Like, especially there was one group, I can't remember the name of them. I think Grab is what they're called, but they're based out of Germany. I'll have to send it to you, but it's interesting. The front cut, like the cover of it, is amazing because it's essentially a child sitting outside at a table in winter in the snow, and this guy comes over to give him a plate, and it turns out to be the Reaper just to take him away because apparently he's frozen to death. It's interesting. Anyways, yeah. I've gotten so off topic.
Yeah, that's what's new.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah.
Basically, not terrible, but they've definitely got better.
Yes, thank you. So yeah, I do want to do more videos, a little bit more whenever we can. It's just been challenging to do recently, like more challenging than I thought it would be. Just
Now that you're done with training and everything, getting more on a set schedule, hopefully maybe it'll get a little easier, but it still won't be like it was when we were on the road.
no, it won't be. Well, I mean, also just now that I'm very local, being very local also comes just with its own challenges and daily things that need to be done. But yeah, until then, I guess we'll call this. We'll just cut this off because we'll just continue rambling on. I know how we are.
Yes.
All right. Well, until next time, guys. Keep rolling heavy, and hell, maybe next weekend or the weekend after we can try and do another, or whenever you're home again, we can do another thing.
I mean, I can do it on the road too. It's not a big deal. Just whenever.
Oh,
Just let me
okay.
know.
Well, also we kind of have different schedules.
Yeah. Well, like the time I would be able to film would be the evenings anyway. So if you're
Okay.
off,
Yeah,
you know,
which we can film like. Yeah. Anyways, see you there, guys.